Everybody, before we get into tonight's update, I want to let you know what you can expect. First, we're going to get into the XRP daily technical analysis, and what I do is I'm going to give you the R1, R2, and S1, S2, which is resistance and support. So I'm going to give you the nearest support, the two nearest support, and two nearest resistance, and it'll help you have a understanding of what the immediate short-term pattern is right now. It'll give you a better understanding. Even if you don't understand technical analysis, at least you can understand the trading range. We're also going to get into a little deeper what we're looking at with the US dollar currency index, and we'll talk about the Fed minutes that happened today as well. Also, I want to show you a little video clip and ask you exactly what's going on over the skies in Michigan, because just like in New York, I have some video footage of the skies lighting up blue, and I'll show a quick clip of that real quick. So make sure to hit that like button, and in the comments let me know if you know what this is. So I'll play that very quickly before I play the intro. So again, make sure to hit that like button, as it really can help push me through the analytics.
I began to see that I really had a knack for, how should I say, running organizations and the people.
So that was just a small little few seconds, but if anybody knows what that is, I would love to know. I've seen it over New York. I've seen it in many different places. Something tells me this has to do with something that I don't even want to go into. So make sure you hit that like button as I play the intro. Good evening, 9:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, as we do have a lot to discuss. Let me know what you think about that few second clip that I showed you. It's of a longer video clip, but that's from the state of Michigan. That's what old Vincenzo got, my brother. So just curious what that is, if anybody can let me know. That's in the greater Roseville area. So what we're looking at right now with XRP is sitting at 0.3921, down 0.78% on the day. We are currently within a range, and I want to give you the range right now. Let's go into the 30-minute time frame, make it a little bit easier, let this load up. So right now, it's very simple. We have the S1, which is the low support in the area, which is at 3860. S2 is still sitting at 0.3777, and that's very important because it's an overextension of this bottom here, but it's also an area in the past where we've run into a little bit of difficulty to break past. So the 377 is the S2 is what I'd be using right now. So S1, which is held up at 386, and then you overextend it down to 377 in my opinion, and then you get to the real support down in the area. If you break that, and it's down at about 358, but if you continue on a little bit farther, we're talking about like the 356 area now if we move it on into tomorrow. And then if you want to talk about resistance, we have two major resistance right now. So as you can see, we're at 3926. A major resistance, like we talked about earlier, is that 394 level. So 394 would be R1, and R2 would be right around the 402 right now. I like the 404, but you have to use this falling channel resistance, and you have to go with the time. So right now, if we go for February 22nd, or 23rd, which is tomorrow, that's approximately the 0.386 level. So now we have, 0.401. So we're going to say the 0.402 would be R2. So 0.402 is R2, and then 0.394 is R1. So that's resistance 1 and 2. And S1 is 386, S2 is 377. So that's support 1 and support 2, and the nearest supports in the area, and the nearest resistance is what we said. If you break down, 356 would be the big support that you have in the falling channel right now if we break it out into tomorrow. And if you break up within tomorrow, 414 would be the next big break up, which is the ascending triangle breakdown, as that's a more of a ascending support slightly, but it's also more of like kind of like a flat support as well. So we're using it as kind of like that ascending triangle where it couldn't break up and out of. If you break that, then we've got the 432 double top in the area, which goes back to mid to late January. So that's what we're looking at right now. I don't really want to make it too difficult for everybody to trade in these ranges. It's just very simple right now. We've been trading within this range for just a minute here. And let me show you, just so there's no questions. So that's what it looks like. That's the falling channel. We diagnosed it very quickly, and it kind of made us look stupid in the beginning, but we had support and a resistance up here. Support up here, never went back. Resistance. Yeah. So resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance. Now what are we going to do? Now we got to see if we break up out of here. Next level would be right here at the 414, followed by the 432. So we've already got this all figured out. So we just need to see which way the pattern decides to take, because honestly, it can take whichever way it wants. We'll see if we get any broader support to help us get on top of here. And we would know because we get on top of the falling channel resistance. And that would be your next play up if you get up here. And then you would have your first resistance right there. So let's say you got here, your first long could be maybe from a 40 cents. And you play it up here to about the 416 level. And then you get rejected, or that's your first bailout point. And then if you got on top of it, then obviously you know you can go higher. Now, conversely, if you break down, your first short could be from this roughly, see, this is where it gets hard. This is where it gets difficult. Because depending on where you go, you could say the 40 cent mark right here. I like that. 40 cents. So 40 cents. 386. You know what? On R2, it's 40 cents. We're just going to stay up there at that 40 cents. I like that better. So scratch what I said. R1 would be 394, and that I know it's right above where we're at, but you got to get above that to try to make a run to 40 cents. So R1, 394, R2, 40 cents. I just like that better. It's more transparent, and that's the falling channel resistance that we do have to break in order to get up to the 414 level. So I think that's pretty easy to understand that. And as I hinted at before, real quickly, we'll go over the Fed minutes real quick because it's very important. So the Fed released their minutes today. I want to play this real quick so you don't have to hear me talk about it. You can hear a quick synopsis real quickly here. It's about a minute and 55 seconds, nothing major. So we'll just listen to this real quick.
It's the drive that starts with it.
Now to Steve Leisman in Washington for the Fed minutes. Steve.
Almost all participants at the last January meeting for the Federal Reserve agreed on the 25 basis point rate hike. Ongoing rate increases were seen as appropriate by all members of the.
I think personally in this next one we're going to have a 50 basis point rate hike. We'll see what they have to say right here real quick. But I just wanted to let you see and hear real quick, and then we can discuss it.
This is in the Federal Market Committee. 25 basis point hikes were seen as allowing the Fed to assess the economy and the impact of rate hikes as they went along. However, a few wanted to raise by 50 basis points. In common Fed speak, a few is more than two, so there may be another person, or appears to be another person out there other than the two whom we know, Bullard and Mester, who wanted to go 50. They wanted to go 50 because they wanted to bring the Federal Reserve more closer, more quickly to the target where they were trying to get to. Several saw risks to the outlook as becoming more balanced. Participants supported maintaining a restrictive policy stance until inflation was clearly on a path towards their 2% target. Inflation was seen as unacceptably high. There was substantially more evidence was needed for confidence that inflation was on a downward path. It was important for financial conditions to reflect policy restraint from the Fed, and they did see more financial condition tightening in than they hadn't seen in 2022. Upside risk was seen to inflation, but a few saw the risk as more balanced. Economic risks, however, were to the downside, and GDP was expected to slow further in 2023. Worth mentioning at this point, a little asterisk here, all of this came before the big jobs report and the big retail sales report and the stickier inflation numbers that we had. This is all before those numbers. There was a period of below trend growth was seen needed in order to bring supply and demand back into balance. Finally, there was an elevated chance of recession seen in 2023, although some said that the China reopening and the euro area growth, which had been better than expected, could help U.S. demand.
So then the last thing really to know about the minutes is that the show members resolved to keep fighting inflation. So they're telling us we're nowhere near being done, and we're going to continue raising rates. So anybody who thought the inflation was cooling, or if the economic was the economy was looking better, no, it's not happening. In fact, this tells you that there's going to be much of the more, and that recession is more than likely, or it's more likely than they thought going forward in 2023. So that's just a quick overview of what happened with the Fed minutes in case you guys missed it. I just wanted to play that short clip. I know sometimes it's a little bit easier to grasp when you can see what they're saying right in front of you, and then we can kind of talk about it after. So now the DXY before I leave is sitting at 104.408. We've been off to a fantastic move here to start this week, and now we're going into the mid-late week. So now we're going to see, going into Thursday, is this the breakout we've been waiting for? Right now we broke up, and now if we can hold, and we need to pay attention, if this is an ascending triangle breakout, this would mean the pattern's revving up, and we've had a pattern reversal that's confirmed. And we should be able to be hot enough to get up to 102.20. Assuming that this isn't a fake out. If you see us get past this 104.66, yeah, we got something cooking. So 104 right now, spot. Got to make sure here. 104.36. So if you see us hold 104.36, we got something bigger brewing. And that could be an issue for like gold, silver, and crypto, because it technically is a risk-on asset. And if the U.S. dollar is going up, that means more people are going to probably be buying the U.S. bonds and whatever you want to, the debt, as we call it. So there won't be as much money to fly in crypto, but we'll see. We'll see. So right now what I want you to remember, XRP sitting at 39.39. Find a plan to buy XRP. Buy it to the bottom, because I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom. I really do believe we're going to go sub 20 cents. I don't know if I'm right, but that's what my gut tells me. That's what I'm seeing on the charts, and I've been seeing it since 2021. So we're going to see what happens. Make sure, though, even if you haven't bought any XRP, take 2%. Take 2% of your portfolio, buy XRP, get used to what it feels like to own it again, and then go from there as we go down by percentage. If you need to buy XRP somewhere, make sure to look in the video description below or the pinned comments. There's BITGET and or MEXC. There's no VPN required unless you're in the USA with BITGET. You might have to use it if you're a new user, but there's no spot fees on the buy and sell. There's also 200x leverage, up to 250x, I believe. And there's also UPHOLD as well if you want to buy XRP. So no excuses to buy it in the USA. There's 3 exchanges right there that you can do it. And if you want to join Tom's Army, which would be awesome, show me that support, pay it forward. It's in the video description below and also the pinned comments. Hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag FUD Assassins. And remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, what the hell is the point in this great journey?